The engine is quite problematic. The first thing owners complain about is power. Since the motor is weak, it almost constantly spins at 3000 RPM and above. If it is lower, then the car practically does not move even with a manual transmission. In this regard, it is quite dangerous to be on the track. Maximum speed, 100 km per hour, overtaking and other maneuvers take a long time. In addition, the engine is unreliable. Its service life is short. Purchasing a used car in this case is a big risk. If the previous owner performed poor quality repairs on the installation, it will work for a maximum of 2 years. The only good thing is that the design of the unit is simple and it is easy to capitalize on. But all this will not be cheap, about 20,000 rubles. In addition, it is important to change the engine oil promptly. According to the manufacturer's recommendations, this must be done every 10 to 15,000 kilometers, otherwise, the power plant will quickly become unusable. It will need to be repaired or replaced with a new one. After a run of 160,000 kilometers, the engine begins to eat oil. The steering rack fails quite quickly. As a rule, these problems arise with it after a run of 80,000 kilometers. She starts knocking. Malfunction occurs for various reasons. The most common: poor fastening of nuts and bolts, damage to the support sleeve, corrosion causes backlash, wear of protective rubber covers. There are quite a lot of complaints about the salon. The first thing to start with is that it is narrow. The driver, when changing gears, constantly touches the passenger sitting in front. In addition, the rear seats are uncomfortable, the backrest creaks. Most car owners have them rebuilt. And the front ones leave much to be desired. Apparently designed for thin passengers. The instrument panel is a weak point. Its appearance is not attractive and does not meet the modern requirements of car enthusiasts. She's quite simple. Well, in general we can say that the interior is wooden. The stove is weak and does not warm up the interior well. In winter it cools down quickly. The finishing is not of high quality. There are options with both fabric and leather. Over time, the seats and steering wheel wear out. Crickets appear. The appearance is standard and attracts few people. Rust on the body is a sore subject for many cars. Suzuki Alto is no exception. The paintwork is weak. It quickly develops chips and scratches. If they are not removed in a timely manner, rust will appear. Experts recommend that when purchasing a new car, it undergoes anti-corrosion treatment. This will keep her looking beautiful for a long time. The timing belt will cause a lot of trouble. The first problems with it may arise after a run of 60,000 kilometers. An uncharacteristic whistle appears, which periodically disappears, but returns again. The malfunction is considered serious as it leads to a breakdown of the installation. Therefore, you should not neglect its first signs. Corrective action must be taken immediately. Noise can occur for several reasons. Parts are worn out. They need to be replaced with new ones. Coolant or engine oil has entered. The belt is slipping. It is enough to tighten the device. Poor quality parts. When choosing parts, it is important to give preference to proven ones. Cheap analogs are usually of low quality. Their use leads to more serious damage. Chassis. The chassis is rather weak for Russian roads. She can't stand their low quality. Often on small bumps an incomprehensible but strong sound appears. The cause of the problem is usually silent blocks. They need to be replaced. Otherwise, the vehicle's handling will deteriorate. Don't forget about the springs. Over time, they lose their elasticity, which also entails problems with the suspension. You can fix the problem yourself or seek help from a specialist. The suspension is hard. All the holes and irregularities on the road are very noticeable in the cabin. This causes discomfort to many drivers. The oxygen sensor does not last long. With a mileage of 150,000 kilometers, it flies often. Replacing with a new one is easy and many people do it themselves. Those who trust professionals more should be prepared for the fact that the procedure will cost 1,000 rubles. The main disadvantages of the 7th generation Suzuki Alto: weak engine, lack of spare parts on the Russian market, uncomfortable rear seats, narrow interior, Mechanical windows. There is no rear wiper. Trunk lighting is not provided. No plastic protection for the internal combustion engine. Poor sound insulation. Low ground clearance. Insufficient information on repair and operation. Unattractive dashboard. Suzuki Alto since 2009 is a torquey and maneuverable car. An excellent option for the city. It has pros and cons that are important to consider when purchasing. Especially that the engine is demanding on the quality of gasoline. It is only necessary to refuel with AI 95. But since the fuel consumption is not high, it will not cost much.